Hey there, I'm Diana from BeMommyWithStyle.com and welcome to today's video. So I wanted to do a little bit of a chatty vlog, kind of filling you in with some things that are going on, some exciting things coming up, and also kind of share why I've made a number of changes recently, but also not so recently as well too. I've never just really made a video about this, so I thought it was kind of time to talk about privacy and why I've made a number of changes here on my channel. So you may have noticed that we have changed quite drastically the way that we have filmed and shared videos, and also I've just started taking down different videos here and there at my discretion. And the thought of privacy, I think, is become a very important topic in today's world. I think when we were starting out on the internet over a decade ago, it was this very different thing, and now it's turned into this thing where pretty much everyone has some sort of presence online, but you really have to decide which way or which angle you are going to come at it from. And so the past number of years, I've really made some changes, and I feel like we're better off for those. And we are going to be doing some vlogging coming up, but I wanted to make this video specifically because of some changes that I made the past few years and how well they've worked out for me as a parent, as a mom, and just as a person. And I wanted to share a little bit more about what those are. Some of the things that I changed with my filming is obviously you've seen our daily life less and less and less. I think that, you know, kind of daily vlogging had its day, and now I feel like not only is it not really the way to go about doing things kind of the right way necessarily, but it really kind of promotes burnout and people just really expecting more from you, if that's fair, than really they should be allowed. So I kind of made this decision a really long time ago, actually. I made this change probably over 5 or 6 years ago, just never really said anything about it, and slowly started pulling my kids out of the vlogs more and more, slowly stopped sharing our daily life more and more, and kind of shifted my content a little bit. In the past couple of years, I really wanted to focus, really kind of deep dive specific subjects, and I felt like I couldn't do that here. So I stalled, but I eventually, after I enrolled in a program, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that, about 2 years ago, called Business by Design, and it really walked you through the mechanics and the functions of having your online business and how to best drive home that online business. And I just jumped in at that time and set up a number of basically offshoots of things that we had talked about here on Be Mom with Style that I enjoy, like learning, like Disney, and I put those under their own brand names. And of course, it's always a little bit scary starting over and starting from zero, but it absolutely was the best possible situation, and absolutely am loving it. At the same time that I started those new brands up, I kind of just have been puttering along, kind of keeping this along, and I'll kind of share what we're going to be doing here going forwards. But also, I started some new revenue and income streams for those business offshoots, primarily in the form of digital products, downloads, PDFs, and kind of an extension, almost kind of a consulting type of extension of what I was already kind of giving out information-wise on those platforms. And so digital products have become huge the past couple of years. This is kind of a timely thing. I'll put the link down below, but in the next week, there's going to be a webinar about starting your first digital product. You can probably watch the replay if you're watching this in the future. I don't know how long that'll be available, but it's completely free. It's a 3-day webinar. And if you have ever thought about adding digital products to your business suite, I highly, highly recommend it. It is a not only very robust income stream for me at this point, it's really starting to overtake some of the other ones that had been my study ones previously. So highly, highly recommend looking into it. And this webinar can get you kick-started. I will put the link down below. It's a 3-day training, and James is going to dive into getting kick-started with your own digital products. And then he has all kinds of advanced kind of master classes that you can, you know, get other information on, but there's no sell at the end of this 3-day webinar. It's simply about how to get started and how to break down the process of getting your own digital product started. So when I branched out and kind of split off Be Mommy with Style into a number of different brands, I started adding in digital products and added in a number of other affiliate streams that I didn't have previously, and it's worked beautifully. In fact, I've kind of said like I got to start over the correct way, quote unquote, and do things how I had always envisioned it in my head. But when I started this channel specifically, one, it was kind of at a time where you felt like you could only do one thing, or at least I felt like I could only do one thing and I couldn't be all the different platforms, where now everything is kind of flipped and you kind of have to be a lot of places at one time. But then also I had all of these kind of like ideas of what I wanted to do, how I wanted to structure it, and just the capabilities of both myself, just time-wise and otherwise, and then also just the technology wasn't there yet to really get it to a point where I could package things how I kind of envisioned it in my head. But now things have zoomed forward so much that I really am able to do that with the kind of travel focus, with Moms with Mouse Ears, with the learning focus, which we're going to be talking more about this summer, and being able to kind of split everything off. It's really been quite nice. And so the website for Be a Mommy with Style is really its own engine. It runs on its own. And what is popular and what does well there is interesting, because it seems to not necessarily line up with necessarily what this audience is wanting on this channel. But at the same time, I think that I have found if I just share little kind of tidbits, like really kind of deep dives about one specific thing and have it line up with something going on in the blog, that's fine. I'm actually putting out things on the blog a lot more regularly than I'm making YouTube videos at this point, but that's fine. I don't need a video for every single blog that I'm putting out. It's just not necessary. So what I'm finding is I'm picking and choosing what's going to line up with what's going on in the blog, and then just sharing that. So one of the things that I have coming up is I'm going to be releasing, I already have a household kind of management binder, there's cleaning schedules, there's meal planning schedules, and I've always wanted to release basically a kind of wardrobe planner as well too. So I'm going to be releasing that this summer and be sharing that. And then I have not to date, I've shared Moms with Mouse Ears. So if you're looking for Disney videos, that's over on Moms with Mouse Ears. And I'm going to do a dedicated standalone video about that, just solely that, for this channel coming up after this one. But what I haven't talked about yet is I moved a lot of the learning things over to a different website as well too. And my plan, or my goal, is this summer to potentially start letting you all know here more about what's going over on that learning website, because one of my biggest downloads in the summertime on Be My With Style, other than the clothing and like summer travel prep stuff and Disney cruise stuff, is summer learning. I have a lot of summer learning downloads that people download. It comes around every year. People really, really love it. And so this summer, I would really love to kind of share with those folks that are downloading that from Be Mommy with Style, the new learning website, and then vice versa, people that are over at the new learning site then aren't even aware of these downloads that I have at Be Mommy with Style. I'm planning on sharing that back and forth as well too. So I'm at this process where I'm trying to get everything separated out. It is working much, much better to have all of those niche topics kind of living in their own kind of ecosystem. And it's exciting because it's kind of what I always envisioned, what I wanted to do, but I was never really able to get it over the goal line, because it really has taken having VAs help me out to get it there. I mean, it's just so much output that there's no way I could be editing all this, processing all this, replying to all this on my own. It really has taken me to the point of, you know, getting people to help with different projects and getting these things then over that goal and completion line. So I'm very excited about that, but I wanted to kind of share why, you know, I kickstarted this whole thing and making those changes, because privacy is so important. And I really felt like we hit this point with doing like the daily vlogs that, one, it wasn't really serving anyone. Those vlogs would always kind of hit like a certain plateau and then never go anywhere, whereas like some of the very topic specific deep dive stuff that we get are always the videos that take off. And then not only is it not really serving anyone fully, but it also started to get very intrusive, and I had to make some very specific decisions, starting even way back when the kids were a lot younger. People were trying to hunt down what school they were at. They were posting what school they were at. It just got a little crazy there for a while, and I made the decision that kind of enough was enough, and we were going to start changing how we were filming. So the kids definitely want to be in like travel videos and things like that, so we're still sorting that part out, and they eventually want to have their own channels, which we're still sorting that out as well too. But I am aware at this point of how crazy the internet can get and how much people can literally just start stalking you. And I feel like definitely with the new platforms, I've relieved some of that. You know, it's more about like people coming for the information that I'm giving out rather than them sitting in my living room and being like, hey, what you eating today? Because like it's a little intrusive. It just really does. So I really feel like I've set it up in a better way for our family. I've set it up in a better way, honestly, just to serve everyone a lot better. So all that to say that everyone's going to have their own kind of place on this whole privacy scale that's better for them or the best fit for them. But definitely for us, I really felt like this channel specifically had really started overreaching to a place where I just was no longer comfortable with it. So I started changing what I was doing. So what you'll see here is we are going to be doing some travel vlogs that the whole family wants to participate in. I'm not going to be doing daily vlogs like, you know, come see what I'm eating every day, because again, like I said, I just don't feel like those serve anyone anymore. But we're going to be doing those deep dive topic specific videos that we have that match up with over at the blog. And yes, toy reviews are some of like the highest viewed videos that are on this channel. If you go to like literally my highest viewed videos of all time, top 3 to 5 to possibly even 10 are all toy reviews. So that does very well in coupling with what I do on Amazon, and also I have a lot of gift guides and things like that over on the blog. So those will inevitably end up on the blog if that's on this YouTube channel. If that's not your thing, you can just skip those. But I want to just kind of weave in some things for fun without overstepping those privacy boundaries here on this channel. All that being said, what we're doing the other places is so much less intrusive. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that if you have hit this point where what you were doing previously just really isn't working for you anymore, you always have that ability to take a step back, really assess the landscape, figure out what's going to work for you going forwards, and don't be afraid to make that change. Because I made some big changes like 7 or 8 years ago, then again like 5 or 6 years ago, and then even just the past 2 or 3 years when I decided to split everything off, and everything has definitely led to not only exponential growth, but also just let me just be honest, it's like just calmer for our family. You know, it's a better kind of filming situation and less intrusive for our family. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know down below. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about what's going on kind of over with some of these webinars that I'm taking part in as well too. So that way, if they can help you out, I would love to, you know, answer any questions that you have, because at this point, I'm now kind of like 2 or 3 years in. I did BBD about like 2 years ago, split everything off, and it's working wonderfully, absolutely wonderfully. So if you have any questions about niching down, splitting off, starting over, feel free to let me know down below. I'm happy to answer those. Or if you have any questions about this webinar, highly recommend to check out the Your First Digital Product webinar. It's a great place to start if you don't already have digital products. There's so many places that you can host them. I'm happy to answer questions about those. Just let me know what questions you have. But there is so much opportunity on the internet. It doesn't have to be intrusive, it doesn't have to invade your privacy, and it can be a really good support for your family. So I definitely want to encourage anyone that's interested in it to go for it in the way that works for you. So hopefully this has been helpful and given you some ideas, and I will put some link resources down below. Thanks so much for watching today, and have a great day.